Welcome back to another episode of Get Sharp Coaching, the vodcast where we're sharpening what matters. Today's episode is all about the 7 levels of energy. And we're going to begin with number 1. Let's go. Comprised by the belief that the person is a victim in some way, shape, or form, which leads to the emotion or the feeling of apathy, and that feeling leads to the action of being lethargic. What does this mean? Someone who thinks they're a victim probably not going to feel too inspired or motivated to do anything. So they tend to be lazy. Level 1, you could think of a good example would be couch potato. Someone who's really sedentary, someone who plays video games, watches TV, you name it. People that drink beers, just recline on the lazy boy on the couch. These are the typographical level 1 energy folks. So you don't have to be a couch potato to be in level 1 energy. You could be an NFL athlete. You could be just the fittest person on earth. You could still get into level 1 energy. All it takes is a thought. Again, the thought is that you're a victim, that you're a victim of the situation, that you are at the effect of a cause. For example, when you are up next for a promotion at work, they don't give it to you, and you think, what? Why not? Maybe it's because the color of my skin. Maybe it's because my name. Maybe it's because they don't like me. They don't like me because of my religion. They don't like me because of my race. They don't like me because my sexuality. They don't like me for etc. Whatever reason you think they don't like you for, fill it in. So, level 1, victims who end up becoming lazy. Let's go on to the next one. Level 2 energy. The person believes that's a conflict, a challenge presented before them. Then they feel angry. And they feel angry because they are compelled to sort of fight or flight, in other words. And because of this, it leads to the action of being defiant. Great example of this would be protesters. You think of someone who's pretty pissed off, who wants some change, and who's willing to go out and freaking march with a picket sign and yell at the top of their lungs for hours. So obviously these people are not very happy, very peaceful, and they're not accepting of what is. They want change. They want change now, and they don't care who they have to yell at in order to get it. And so what are the pros? Because there has to be pros to all of this. There has to be pros and cons to everything. So you're right. The pros to level 2 or being in level 2 energy is you get shit done. Period. Although there are some cons, like for some reason you're just pissed off all the time and you don't know why. It's like it's just who you are, and being happy, it's a little weird. So that's the first one. The second one is you push people away. And who even wants to be around people that are angry? Not even angry people want to be around people that are angry, which goes against that old saying that your vibe attracts to your tribe, or like attracts like. In this case, I'd say no. Angry people do not attract angry people. They create angry people. And then they go away. They go their separate ways. So these are 2 huge cons. Also, it shortens your life. Science tells us that the constant flood of stress chemicals and associated metabolic changes that occur with ongoing and unmanaged anger can eventually cause harm to many different systems of your body. Some of the short-term effects include anxiety, headache, insomnia, depression, high blood pressure, skin problems, and the list goes on and on. Long-term problems lead to heart attack and even stroke due to the high blood pressure. And overall, who wants to be with someone that's angry all the time? Level 3 energy. Reconciliation. A person who reconciles or sort of mends their past relationships. So when they reconcile, there's an emotion of forgiveness involved. And with that emotion, it ends up or leads to them being cooperative. So reconciliation, forgiveness, cooperation. I memorize this RFC. Nice little acronym. And so the analogy or the example that I think of a member from any workforce, but this member has to be the person who owns up to their end of the bargain, to their side. They take responsibility. They become the bigger man or the bigger woman and just the bigger person in general. And they usually take ownership of their responsibilities, apologize for any things that they did on their end, and they usually end up apologizing and mending the relationship back together. That's the level 3 kind of person. And now the pros. Biggest pros for level 3 energy are they are more productive. So they get more things done in comparison to levels 1 and levels 2. And that is because they're able to forgive and forget. That's just what they do. So a lot of often people that are working in high-paced jobs, whether it be sales, marketing, HR, any department, you're going to have people that are just, they need to forgive, they need to forget. And so another big pro would be they realize priorities. Huge. So they're able to put things in perspective. And then after they put things in perspective, they realize what matters most. And because of it, they're able to apologize, own up to their end, and keep on moving forward. And so the biggest con with level 3 folks is that from constantly having to own up and be the bigger person, they end up harboring resentment. And so be careful with level 3 energy if you're operating there, because you do run the risk of harboring resentment. All right, now we're starting to pick up energy a lot more. So the person that operates in level 4 energy usually has a sense or believes that they are concerned for the well-being of others, whether it be animals, plants, humans, they are concerned. And because of their concerns, they feel a sense of compassion emotionally. And with the compassion that they feel compelled to be of service to others, as you can see here. So when you are concerned, compassionate, and service, you tend to have a lot more abundance in your life, a lot more positive energy. People want to be around you more. So let's get to the pros and cons. The cons. You guys knew this was coming. So for as good of a level as it is, level 4 has some cons. So here are the cons. Self-neglect. You probably saw that one coming. So because people are so focused on giving, they forget to give to themselves because they're just giving to others. So with that being a con, another con would be unloved. So a lot of people, myself included, may think that helping others, serving others is an act or a form of them loving them. And it very well may be. I think it is. So when you are constantly loving others, let's just say they're not in a position to love you. Then you end up doing all this loving and you end up feeling unloved. Last con would be betrayal. Also stemming from an act of non-reciprocation. Betrayal would be a way that you can interpret it. If you're always giving and you're always loving, you can feel betrayed if you're not receiving the same amount of love that you are giving. So those level 4 folks, be mindful, as you probably already are, of these traps or these cons of being in this level 4 energy. Level 5. All right, so level 5, the core thought / belief here is reconciliation. What does it mean to reconcile? It means to restore friendly relations with someone. So that sounds nice. And essentially, you are just mending the lost or nearly broken ties. And when you are mending, then you feel a sense of peace because you are taking the necessary actions in order to create harmony amongst both of you, both you and the other person. So once you feel peaceful, it leads to a sense of acceptance of the moment, acceptance of the person, acceptance of the situation. Level 5, a good example of this would be Nelson Mandela. For those of you that don't know his story, he was incarcerated in prison in South Africa for about, I believe, 27 years. And if you don't know his story, I highly recommend you give him a Google. There's tons of YouTube videos about him. He was released from prison And then this man became the freaking president of the country. And so that's Nelson Mandela in a nutshell. Now let's get to the pros and the cons. So the biggest pro for level 5 would be you remove or replace fear with, you probably thought I was going to say love, acceptance. So you remove fear and you replace it with acceptance. What does that leave you with? That leaves you with a whole lot of love. And now I said love. There you go. So level 5, you are extremely loving and you're replacing the fear that you once had for a person or a thing. You're replacing it with acceptance and a sort of embracing of that person. So you transcend all fear. Now the cons of such a great level. So here's the con. You come off as a pushover. I mean, people think or know that you are going to forgive them. And so they think that they can mistreat you and treat you however they'd like. And so because of it, you come off, even though you most likely aren't, but you come off to others at times as a pushover, a doormat, fill in the rest. Level 6 is comprised of a feeling of oneness. So that's the belief that you have that you're one with everything in the universe, in the cosmos. You are one with it. Levels, you believe in a synthesis with you and the universe, a oneness, which leads you to feeling joy or a sense of pleasure, euphoria even. And the action here is wisdom. When you're in level 6 and you feel amazing, you suddenly have all these insights occur to you. They just pour in from seemingly nowhere. So wisdom is the end result that you will get once you enter and stay in this state for a long enough time. So you feel one with everything around you. You feel extremely ecstatic and filled with joy. And because of it, you have a sense of wisdom and insights start occurring to you. And now the cons to a seemingly untouchable level. So the biggest cons are attachment. I mean, you love this level. You love being in this level so much. You don't want to go in any other levels. I mean, you do your best to just remember your place in this world until somebody honks at you or until somebody wants to get into an argument with you or yells at you or calls you a liar or does something to kind of piss you off. So the other one would be hermitude. So a huge con for being in this level is, again, being that it's a level that you don't want to leave. You don't feel the need to go out and socialize. So you participate in self-isolation. These are the biggest cons. You become attached to this level, or you want to attach yourself to this level, and you may not want to leave your room because you found that you could be completely happy by yourself in your own solitude. And so these are the biggest cons. Now, level 7. Let's go. And here we go. Level 7 energy is comprised of non-judgment. So a great example for these levels would be, think of monks who they meditate many, many hours, days, weeks, months, years even. And they allow their thoughts to come and go. They're the spectators of their thoughts, of their mind. And they don't judge it. They simply allow it to be. And part of non-judging, or being non-judgmental, I should say, is not labeling. So it's synonymous with not labeling things, which is extremely difficult to do. Try it for yourself. It's really hard because it goes against how we've been conditioned to grow up and sort of operate in especially busy societies, busy cities, even rural countries, like rural parts of the country. It's sort of like, how do you distinguish you from the other person? You have names, and so you label each other. And so that's part of the difficulty that comes with it. But level 7 folks, they get to a point where they do not label. They no judgment. That leads to absolute passion. They are enthralled in every moment, not judging, not labeling, just there, accepting the moment, being with the moment, extremely happy to be there, filled with passion, an overwhelming feeling of emotion. And this leads to creation, because with this overwhelming emotions that they have this want to share it and create, whether it be an ideology, a painting, or maybe just another moment with someone that they care about. Well, either way, this level is extremely rare to come across, at least if you're not in a monastic setting. So, level 7. What are the pros? What are the cons? Here they are. So the biggest pros level 7 energy can give you is a sense of excitement for something new, a new way to see the world around you, a new way to see yourself, maybe not even physically or literally see yourself, but conceptually see yourself as being not even a human, just a being. And then another pro would be a sense of wonder, what's next? What is next, since you are just seeing the world like how you did when you were a child. Everything is new. Everything is wonder-filled, wonderful, and it's all a surprise. Who knows what's going to happen next? And that leads partially back to the excitement as well. Everything's very exciting. And then lastly, the biggest pro of being in level 7 energy, you are at your pinnacle or peak of being creative. That is the perfect point for you to do what you've been wanting to do, a hobby, maybe writing, drawing, painting, sculpting, you name it. Those are the rewards that you can reap. And last but not least, level 7 energy. You come off as weird, odd, strange. Another con would be you are overly idealistic. So your head's in the clouds. That's not how life works. That's what people around you might be saying when you're in this state or this level. And the last con when you're in level 7 energy is you are simply unrelatable to the people around you. They don't know what you're thinking. They might be afraid of you. They just might try not to hang out with you. You're not like them, and you're not like how they want to be. So you're completely in another universe on your own. But since you're in level 7, you don't even care. So maybe that's not even a con to you. Those are the 7 levels of energy. Brought to you by IPEC, Bruce D. Schneider again. Thank you so much for listening. That is the 7 levels of energy. Now, my questions to you are, what level are you currently on right now? What level do you want to be on? Take some time to realize that. And then once you've realized that, how are you going to get there? Thank you. Thank you very much for listening again. And if you need help getting there, please reach out to us. GetSharpCoaching.com. The link is below. I'd be happy to give you a free coaching session / consultation. Please feel free to reach out. Thank you so much. And that about wraps it up. Until next week.